So Morgan and I just watched Last Night in Soho. Are you okay?
Let me think. No.
Oh boy. This is worse than I thought.
And just like the movies will play out our last scene, you won't cry, I won't scream.
London is everything I have dreamed of.
I know how much you want this, but it's not what you imagined.
I keep seeing these visions of the past. Save yourself!
Last Night in Soho. Rated R.
I don't care what you're doing. I just want to get this over with.
Well, you said you didn't mind.
I know.
Okay then. So if you couldn't tell by that title card, we both had differing opinions about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Although I thought the movie was flawed and kind of silly at times, did enjoy it. However, Morgan, on the other hand,
Yeah.
go ahead.
The minute I stood up, I literally went into a 90-degree angle. And you looked at me and said, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Let me think about it." No.
Well, I think we can both agree that it wasn't boring, at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what were your,
No, you first.
Oh, okay.
I want to hear your thoughts.
Aesthetically, I thought it was very pleasing to the eye because it's, kind of not really kind of a period piece movie where it's supposed to be like in the 60s, but it's modern day, if you know what I mean. So I like the aesthetics. I liked the acting. There were parts of the plot that I did like. I thought it was an interesting story, to say the least. But my problem with it was, well, there were several problems with it. Like, I don't want to spoil anything.
I know the feeling, because I'm certain
Let's just...
people might want to see this, but given how it's doing at the box office, let me put it this way, it's not that big of a bomb like The Last Duel, because I think this was made for $24 million. I could be right or wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry for lack of light here. I just want to make sure.
That's okay.
Because this was a British-American film, so let's see here.
I think how I can put it is that there's a character that they try to make you feel bad for, but the more you think about it, you kind of are like, yeah, sad story and all, but you still shouldn't have done that, if you know what I mean.
Oh, $43 million.
Not bad.
Yeah, 43 million.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I did like it. I thought it was entertaining. If you don't take the movie too seriously, I think you can enjoy it, but it does have plenty of flaws. So this is where I'll let you take over.
I'm glad you liked it, because I paid for the ticket.
I can pay you back.
No.
Are you sure?
No.
It's not my birthday, so you don't have to.
No, but you're my girlfriend, and
I just feel bad that you didn't like it.
But I love you.
I love you too.
I mean, we're not going to agree on everything.
Yeah. That is true.
I mean, there are some things we both like and dislike, and there are some things I do hold hard that you don't, like the Super Mario Brothers movie.
I might like that more now, but
what's
if you ignore that it's a Mario movie.
I'm trying to think, what's an example of something I like but you don't?
I remember, well, again, I haven't seen Kick-Ass in years either, but I remember our opinion on that was different then, but
even looking back on that one, yeah, because even if I did think it was okay, I still had issues with it.
Yeah.
And looking back on it now, there are still some things about it that I do have issues with, even more.
Yeah.
Not just, them easily trying to make it an R-rated movie with the language and stuff, but yeah, there's kind of some mean-spirited things about that movie that doesn't hold up very well the more I look back upon it. Maybe that's why I've held off on seeing the sequel for a long time.
Yeah, I never saw the sequel. It's been years since I saw the movie. I think I saw it twice, like once with my sister and then once with you.
Wait. Did we see Kick-Ass together?
I thought we did, because I
remember renting that for my mom, but that was about it.
Well, maybe we didn't see it together. It might have been a deal that we were talking about it, and I said
maybe
I liked it.
Maybe that's what it was, yeah.
It's been like a decade, so...
Because I did see that, and there were things I did like about it.
Yeah.
But there were some things that really bugged me, like the constant swearing.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind the level of action, because at that point, we were in college, we were starting to mature, and we were in that rebel phase. Yeah. Watchmen was, our go-to element, and we both loved the director's cut.
Yeah.
And I still stand by it. Watchmen is a very well-made adaptation. Are there things that don't work? Yeah, but there are some things in the adaptation that I kind of do let slide a little bit, like the giant squid being cut.
Yeah, spoiler alert. I like the movie better than the comic. Some people are not going to like that opinion, but I'm sorry. The climax in the comic of a stupid squid attacking the city was a little silly to me.
I think the big... Because when you have something like a graphic novel, you can do more detail and things like that. And I can understand the point of view of the reason why they didn't... The squid in the comic kind of works, because something that attacks a town from another world, another planet, will get everyone together. Yeah. I think the movie made more sense. It's Dr. Manhattan. Dr. Manhattan disappears. He takes the rat.
And that's something humans would do. I just felt like that worked way better, but we're getting off topic.
No, I'm still stuck on something that I like, but you don't. I'm more fascinated by that conversation than this goddamn movie.
I can't think of anything at the moment. It'll come to us after we're done recording this.
Yeah.
But,
I know you haven't seen much of Bottom. I love Bottom. I'm stuck. I'm freaking stuck.
Yeah.
And I know... Well, I don't want to throw Jackass in the ring, because I'm 50-50 about that, too. Like, some of the stunts I don't mind, but the gross-out stuff is where I kind of stop with that. It's like, oh, hey, they're doing a replication of King Kong with porta potties. It's funny! And then... Next thing you know, Bam Margera is trying to scare his parents with a crocodile or something like that. Yeah. Or an alligator, whatever it is. I'm just like,
Kick-Ass is not my cup of tea. I mean, I haven't
seen Kick-Ass in years, so I wouldn't say.
I haven't watched it, but it's one of those things where just seeing a commercial for it, I'm like, well, that's just stupid. I mean, I will see the movie with you.
It's probably be a long time, because I'm not really in a Kick-Ass mood.
Okay, well,
to be honest, because like I said, looking back upon that, there are some...
Why was I thinking about Jackass?
Kick-Ass, Jackass.
Were you talking about Jackass?
Earlier I was talking about Kick-Ass, and then I started bringing up Jackass.
Okay, that's why we got...
And then I kind of thought... okay, well, here's an easier example. Halloween 2. Like, no, because even now I think that's... I still have a soft spot for it, but I do admit there's stupid stuff in there.
Yeah, I can see why they canceled it from canon.
Damn it, now I'm just freaking stuck.
Well, the point of the matter is there's stuff that we won't always both like, and this movie is a prime example.
Okay.
So, your thoughts on the movie. Let's start with the things that you did like about it.
All right, that's much better to... I'll let you conduct the interview, Mr. Siskel.
If you don't mind.
No, not at all, James Lipton.
Well, I guess I have to do a deeper voice if I'm going to be on.
Yes, and your next movie out seems pretty fine. Yes, that's great. Now, what am I doing here? Okay, so I like the cinematography. I think it's a very well-shot movie, even for that kind of budget. I like films that recreate the past era and present this tinge of nostalgia while still showing at least a form where we're kind of in a situation where we're glad that today is today, even though today still sucks and some of those things are there. They really recreate 1960s London beautifully, even with that kind of budget, even though I kind of wish there was more of it. And in a sense, there are moments where I do want to see like this 1960s version of Showgirls, given the plot and premise. and everything. I kind of was more fascinated with that. I wanted to see where that was going to go. Instead of Kyle MacLachlan, it's Matt Smith. And instead of Elizabeth Berkley, it's this young woman that's trying to make it big, and she's in this little crummy, like, nightclub kind of area. So in a sense, I was like, that's a more fascinating idea for a movie right there. I would love to see, like, a timepiece version of Showgirls, minus the excessive nudity and things like that. Just something of that time period, The Rising Star and things like that. I thought that'd be such an interesting idea of a film. And it gets tangled in supernatural Twilight Zone. Okay, that's part of the negative, but we'll get to that. Stuff I did like. The performances... well, that's the other problem, too, because the performances are just way too good. I just... Cinematography, fine. The premise, okay, there's aspects of the premise I can get on. There's aspects of the premise that I can see working if they were made for different movies. I love The Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone is one of my favorite TV shows. There's tons of episodes they did with time travel that are really, really good. Like, back there, the one where the executive goes back to his hometown as, like, a little quick visit, but it's back to, like, when he was a kid and stuff, and everything looks like as it was when he was a kid, and all these similar things happen, which is really, really good, and tells about the danger of nostalgia and moving ahead. There's one where a guy questions about what time travel is like, and he finds himself, surprisingly, with no explanation, in the 1800s, and he's about to, like, mess with the assassination of Lincoln that's really good, and questions if you can actually change things in the past and affect the future, and surprisingly it does in the smallest way possible. Like, stuff like that. I wax for nostalgia like that. Hell, Richard Matheson, who wrote for The Twilight Zone, did a really good movie I reviewed last year called Somewhere in Time, where Christopher Reeve has the ability to mentally time travel back to the 1910s and meet up with Jane Seymour and be in that aesthetic time period where there's no electricity and things like that, and just see how things looked beautiful and wondrous compared to how grimy and cynical the 80s looked. And I thought it was going to be that kind of movie, but with more of a horror edge. So that's what, judging from the trailer, I thought that's the movie I was going to get. And when they get into the later aspects of what's happening and why that's happening, an explanation for this and this and this and this, without even explaining some of the supernatural elements, which, okay, fine, if they explain the supernatural elements in some shape or form, would that make the movie better or worse? I have no damn idea. But the fact they leave it just ambiguous and stuff, okay, fine. I'm glad it didn't over-explain that kind of thing, and at least kept to the explanation of what happened in the past connected to the future, and why this college student fashion designer is traveling into the future while seeing visions of the past and things like that. There's some aspects that were interesting, but my God, the directions it took were just jaw-droppingly. I can see it working. That's the problem. I can see it working so well, but where it lacked was the execution. And what really hit me in the heart so bad, this was written by Edgar Wright, and he's made one of my favorite movies, The World's End. He really knows how to do tongue-in-cheek. This... oh my goodness, he really knows how to make human characters. He really knows how to do this kind of stuff. And here, when we get to the scenes when Eloise, the main character, goes to this college for the first time and meets these young, bully characters and stuff, the way they were written, my jaw was dropping. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, that was one of my big
Where
problems.
have you been, Edgar Wright?
Yeah, that was one of my problems. I forgot to mention
the
this.
writing sucked, and the fact it came from Edgar Wright.
It just felt like Mean Girls. It's like,
yeah,
it's like they're supposed to be in college. Why are these girls acting like this?
Even Mean Girls was written better than that.
Yeah. This was just kind of like...
oh, so bad, so bad, so bad. She's not really that good. She's kind of a mental... like...
yeah, that really took me out of the movie. Sorry.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
Because you brought it up, it's like, yeah, I did have an issue with that. But okay, go on.
R.L. Stine, I know, oh, the guy who wrote Goosebumps and everything, blah. At least he's the kind of person that still looks at today's media. So he knows how kids act. He knows how kids talk in certain ways. He looks at what's trending. And the funny thing is, I never knew about this up until now. Whenever he reprints some of his older Goosebumps stuff, he actually takes the time to update it. He actually goes in and like removes like references to stuff in the 90s and things like that. So that shows dedication to how you want your material to be timeless and work well. This... God damn, the writing on this thing. The script sucks.
And the twist, the more I think about it, was kind of stupid.
I can see it working for Twilight Zone
well,
movie
if they
or some
executed
other...
it better, because...
Without giving too much away, if it was a Sweeney Todd style story, I would have been fine with it.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're mixing it in with this whole supernatural thing where this girl is seeing visions of the past.
Yeah.
And it's being intercut with this serial killer kind of slasher movie motif. I just feel like I'm watching two different movies stuffed into a blender on Frappe.
Yeah, like I thought it was going to be like, you know, her solving the murder of, you know, in the trailer, it makes it look like she's solving the murder of this girl.
Mm-hmm.
In the movie...
Yeah.
Let's just say twist-wise, it would make, oh my god.
Let me show you Friday the 13th. That works better. I can see where this twist would work. I can see an idea of a movie working, but the problem is where they utilize it and how they place it. It is such a key ingredient of this thing to see it stuffed and wasted like this. Angers me to the bitter core.
Yeah.
Not so much like the Green Knight. Thank God he didn't see the Green Knight.
Not yet.
The Green Knight is worse, trust me. This, at least, there are aspects that I can see were made with good intentions.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna replicate an era that everyone has like a nostalgic appeal for. We're going to examine the sexism and the time the issues that were in that time period back then and things like that. So at least I'll say there was more effort there, given they had energy, time, budget, and a competent writer. But when you really take a step back and remove the visuals, remove the performances, and really just look at the story beats, the skeleton doesn't look that bad of an idea. It really boils down to bad writing. And that's where it really pisses my blood to a boil, because there are so many good ideas, and the way this is written, the way everything is threaded together, just doesn't fly for me.
And there's some things that happen that the main character does that it's like she would have gotten in trouble.
Yeah, like she sees visions of the shadow people in the library, but they're actually the college students and she's hallucinating. Okay, I'll give it this much. The idea that when she goes to sleep, she starts seeing visions and stuff, that's kind of a neat idea, and then she tries to avoid going to sleep, but she can't because the ghosts of the past are trying to tell her, oh, spoiler alert, the ghosts of the past are doing something, like they don't know if they're trying to tell her something or have her experience this kind of thing. And then the visions start messing with her head to the point where in real day she doesn't know what's real, what's true, or if there's like a ghost or a spirit that's just trying to mess with her head and things like that, almost to the point she nearly kills someone with a pair of scissors. I'm gonna call security. You deserve it.
It was one of the mean girls, so kind of
Yeah.
was like, yeah, well.
I did like the relationship between her and the black guy. I thought that was at least something interesting.
Yeah,
I was
her love
like,
interest.
okay, the love interest. Oh, hey, there's something interesting I can kind of get behind. I like this sort of thing. And then that goes to meh. Yeah.
It was also
it doesn't pay off is what I...
yeah, and it was also oddly predictable. Like, I called a couple of things.
So we were calling shots.
Yeah,
there.
but there was like two major things that I kind of like one of the characters that you see in the flashback, because at first we thought the older guy in the future was supposed to be Matt Smith's character, but then in one of the flashbacks they show this other guy who looked more like the older guy if he was younger, and I was like, maybe that's the older guy in the future.
And then, surprise, surprise, he gets Ben Tramered. And,
Yes.
oh, big twist. And
Yes, and then the second thing that I called, we'll not say what that is in case people do watch the movie.
I can see that working in a different movie, but here, when you have supernatural elements going on, B-movie style cliches, cookie cutout characters in a film that is designed to be like a 5-star restaurant kind of film, that's where it irks me the most. You either go out, make it fun and ridiculous, or something just absolutely absurd, but if you're going to give it this kind of pedigree, give it that good kind of pedigree.
Yeah.
That's what really frustrates me.
Like, I felt like it could have used a lot more development. Like, again, get rid of the mean girl aspect, and they could have focused way more on the plot, because the mean girl thing just really took me out of it, because it's like, again, these are supposed to be college-age people, not high schoolers.
And here they have, like, this giant party, Caligula-style kind of frat thing, and then the girl wakes up tomorrow, and she's like, oh, I'm late for class! Then she gets into her seat. Eloise? What? We're just taking attendance. Like, that's not good writing. That's not good writing. I get that they're trying to show that she's trying to escape from her reality and into this whole other fantasy world. Fine. That's just fine. You gotta do it better. Like, if you're gonna keep the bully characters, give them stronger dialogue instead of
just get rid of them.
Yeah.
Like, when they're introduced, I didn't mind them too much, because it was...
And then they started... and then the dialogue that came out of them just did not
because
work.
they weren't being vicious to her at first. It was when you entered the school, then all of a sudden they were just cliched high school bullies, and it's like, okay, girls, grow up.
Yeah.
It's like, me and you both went to college. We didn't encounter people who act like that.
Hell, we didn't even have college experiences like that. We were commuters.
No. Yeah, we were commuters.
Hell,
and we had a lot of people that were older than us.
Some were even video gamers. Like, there was this one guy that would bring in a TV set and a GameCube and a Wii at one point, and that all got lost during a fire drill.
Like someone stole it? What a...
Yeah.
People.
I know.
Yeah.
People are strangers. Hell, the university that I live nearby, that's just a hop and a skip. I don't like... Well, you know, when I attended that university, it wasn't really like that. I just walk into class, hi, notes, okay, I'm gonna go to my home and just do homework. That's literally all it was. I didn't go to like a fraternity or anything like that, so I don't know what that was like. I didn't have a home there, because I had a home. Yeah,
but it's like how the girls acted. It just like, people in college don't act like this. I mean, again, it was something that it's like they should have gotten rid of that, because I did feel like that affected the movie.
Same. And then when it got to like her transitioning and dreaming that she was in the 1960s and viewing this young woman, the Sandy character who's trying to become like a stage performer and things like that, that's where it got a little bit interesting for me. Because I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of like somewhere in time in a sense, but she's kind of seeing these visions of the past play out. And then when it got to the twist and where it was going, I'm just watching a whole other movie getting screened in front of this little supernatural thing.
Do you want to do another thing where we have a break and then say spoilers?
Yeah.
Because there's more things I want to discuss, but we can't discuss it unless we want to spoil people.
So let's do like final thoughts here.
Yeah, final thoughts. Okay.
And then when we say spoilers, we'll,
Okay.
I'm just going to keep this short and simple. It's not the worst movie of this year, but it's in my top 5. It's in my top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not my opinion. I did enjoy the movie a lot. I had my issues with it, but I wouldn't say it's the worst movie I've ever seen. It was enjoyable for me, but I can understand where it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, especially seeing it does have a lot of flaws, and who knows, it might be one of those movies where the more I think about it, the more I don't like it, because I've had that happen before, like Jungle Cruise. But
it happened to me with Heart Beeps.
Yeah. But I did like it. If you don't take it too seriously, and if you like mysteries and, you know, period pieces, I think you will enjoy it.
There are aspects of this being a very well-made movie here and there.
Yeah, it definitely had potential.
It's not the worst I've seen, but it bites off so much more than it can chew.
Yes.
I feel like it has the visual of a 5-star restaurant film, but it has the pedigree of a B movie. And if it, something like, you know, a really out there, high concept kind of idea.
Yeah.
And it's trying to make it serious. If this was done by James Gunn, it would make so much more sense, because at least he knows how to balance the in-joke humor and the serious nature out very well. With Edgar Wright, maybe I'm just trying to figure out what all went wrong. That's really bugging me, because stuff like Baby Driver, that worked just fine. Oh, one more thing, the soundtrack was good.
Yes, very good soundtrack.
But then as the plot went along, I started hating the soundtrack. God. God. Can we watch that Licorice Pizza movie we've been seeing trailers
Yeah,
of?
hopefully.
I want to know what Tom Waits is doing.
Yeah, because that looks really good. Just watch, it'll be bad too. Well, I mean, I didn't think this was bad, but you know.
Not the worst I've seen.
Yeah.
I'll say that. It's not the worst I've seen. But if I am doing like a top 10 list, it's in my top 5.
Yeah.
Because when you have so many elements plugging in, you gotta have a solid, good script to go with it. And if it's not a solid, good script, scale it back, do something creative on a much smaller budget. Just execution, man. It's all about execution.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I saw the 91 version of Addams Family with you earlier.
Yes, that was good watching that again. It's been years since I've seen it, but that was really entertaining.
Even that was a troubled production, but they managed to pull it off pretty well.
Yes.
Again, a good idea where they just had a weak script, but they knew how to pull it off with good performances, and at best, a story that wasn't highly perfect, but at best, you had characters that were carrying you through. You had jokes and performances that were just literally carrying you through it. And not mention really good sets. And that film was a troubled production.
Yeah.
Because they had issues with filming, and Barry Sonnenfeld was a first-time director. So he really was trying to make this movie work. And there was a big shakeup because Orion Pictures, who was funding the film, was going bankrupt. So they had to sell it to Paramount. Paramount didn't think it was working. And so the cast and the crew had to do the best they could. And in the end, they made a serviceable film. But with something like this, it's trying to be, like, serious.
Yeah.
You have a supernatural element in your movie. I don't know where to categorize this.
All right, are you guys ready for some spoilers?
You make your court your serve, my lady.
All right, so in spoiler zone.
Welcome.
Spoiler zone. So the gist of the movie from the trailer was, I thought that it was going to be her trying to solve the murder of this pretty blonde girl named Sandy from the 60s, which the movie was trying to go in that direction because they had her and Sandy kind of interacting with each other, but the big M. Night Shyamalan twist is that Sandy is the old lady who she's renting her room from, and that she's still alive, and that this is where it gets weird, that she was still being haunted by Sandy, but being haunted by Sandy before she went on homicidal maniac mode.
I'm gonna kill every male that I was forced to date with so I could become a stage star.
Yeah, this is where the movie was trying to justify, like, if they, like, obviously Matt Smith's character, she did kill in self-defense because he was attacking her with a knife. But then, in classic mwahaha, I'm evil now fashion, as the older Sandy is telling all of this to Ellie, she's like, oh, I killed them all. Because they killed me, so I killed them. And now I'm going to kill you. And
swing your razor wide, Sandy.
Yeah, really, really bad. And then, she's trying to kill Ellie. She almost kills Ellie's love interest. Like, she stabs him, but he somehow survives.
Die because of that injury. There's no way he could survive an injury like that. Yeah, he somehow lived,
and they didn't even show him healing from that. It was just
it looks like he was punctured in like the stomach and the liver. He can't survive that.
And so, she's chasing her upstairs. The house is burning down from the bottom, but the upstairs is magically
And this
fine.
is where it gets pretentious because she gives her the tea because she does the cliche where the villain reveals her plan.
Yes.
You idiot, you drank the tea. You never drink anything being given to you.
Well, and
she's half dreaming, half seeing visions and stuff. And 1 minute she's on the steps, and next minute she's on this crystal set of steps.
And younger Sandy is trying
to kill her.
Yeah. And then she gets into the room, and all of the dead, because apparently Sandy put all of the bodies in the floorboards on the second floor, and I'm thinking to myself, wouldn't there be a smell? But no, apparently there wasn't a smell.
No, apparently it wasn't a smell.
So all the bodies start crawling out of the floorboards, and they're trying to stop her from calling the police. It's and I even said to Morgan, I'm like, okay, yes, let's stop the girl who's trying to solve your murders. And then Sandy comes into the room, and she kind of snaps out of her.
Save us, kill her.
Yeah, and then Ellie's like, no, and it's like, she's trying to kill you, dear. So then Sandy comes into the room. It seems like she's snapping out of her, I want to kill Ellie now. And Matt Smith's slaps her, and I guess that slaps her out of her homicidal rage. And now the fire is starting to burn down the room. So she's pretty much like, oh, save yourself. I don't want to.
And she magically turns into young Sandy.
Yeah, and then she's like,
she's
oh,
on the tea.
They destroyed me, so they all deserve to die.
Did she put her tea?
And Ellie's like, oh, yes, I agree. It's like, okay. The only one who deserved to die was Matt Smith's character, because he was the one that was actually trying to murder you. All the other guys, yeah, they were sleazeballs who were having sex with you, but that doesn't mean they deserve to die. Because she then went on a murdering rampage. And thinking about it, I'm kind of wondering, did she kill those men first and then Matt Smith's character?
That's where it's starting to wait a minute.
Yeah.
How does that add up? Was Matt Smith the first one, or were all those suitors that she was told to date and bang so she could try and make it to the stage, even though most of the time she was just being used as...
Yeah, it was... Yeah. Again, I did like the movie, but I am going to heavily critique it when it comes to that, because that was stupid. It was very stupid. It's like the movie should have kept it as the murder mystery.
I didn't need to see ghosts and tidy
because the fact that Sandy, they were trying to, play her off as the victim and then reveal that she was a murderer, but then still say, oh, she was still the victim. It's like, no, she wasn't. She murdered a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And then she was going to murder Ellie, even though Ellie made it clear that she wasn't going to turn her in even before she got drugged with the tea.
I'm not going to stab you. I'm just going to put you to sleep and make it look like as if you're crazy. And that's the other thing, too. Earlier before that, she goes to the police and tells them that whole thing. What makes you think they're going to believe you?
Yeah. And, when the house was burning down, it's like the fire started on the first floor. How is the second floor still miraculously fine? It's like the second floor would have collapsed because of the burning of the first floor. It's
and then speaking of which, you gotta love the fact that what starts this whole thing is a perfectly lit cigarette in an ashtray. The ashtray goes into a bunch of vinyl albums that the old Sandy has, and one of the vinyls, if I remember correctly, says it's about to get dusty or something like that, or something's about to get dusty. Or
subtle.
It's something dusty. I'm trying to remember. I'm just trying to blank this thing out of my head right now. But I remember it's if you're gonna do it cleverly, do it more cleverly.
Yeah. So the twist about Sandy being the old lady, I kind of thought that was going to be the case, but I thought it was going to be a deal like it was kind of like with the others where she was really dead.
Oh my god.
I thought it was going to be that. Like,
Oh my God.
Like it was a deal that, you know, she was projecting herself as an older woman for Ellie, and then when Ellie solved the murder or something, then she was going to reveal herself as Sandra and not as, I'm actually a psychopath who murdered all these men.
I just realized one of the acts that they perform in the movie when Ellie goes into, like, night dream mode is this puppet burlesque act. Like, I'm the puppet, you're controlling me. It's like, it all makes sense in hindsight. It all makes perfect sense. She's being used like a toy.
Yeah, like, I think the movie was trying to have, like, a lot of symbolism. Like, again...
Foreshadowing and...
Like, again, this idea could have worked a lot better if they thought it over way better, got rid of the stupid Mean Girls. Bye-bye, get out, you guys. Wrong movie. Get out of this movie. Shoo, shoo, shoo.
I like your depiction of the bullies
Well,
that way.
they were a waste of time. They literally were just there to waste screen time. It's like, get out of this movie.
Shoo, shoo, shoo.
Lindsay Lohan's over there. Go over there and do Mean Girls.
Oh, and at the Halloween party, they dress like the Click Gang from The Craft.
And then it was implied...
Fuck off, movie.
And then it implied that they drugged her, but did they really?
Oh, with a highball, but there was an eyeball, so that makes it an eyeball, not a highball.
Yeah, it was...
That works better in Scrooged.
And I don't think they actually drugged her. I mean, what was the point of putting that in there?
It's a kind of... be a red herring as to whether or not she's going crazy or not, because she's not sleeping well, because she's trying to avoid seeing the ghosts and visions of the past.
Now, I'm sensitive to spirits, not to her extent, but, you know, say if I decided to move to, like, an old-timely, wimely apartment, and then I was starting to relive someone who possibly got murdered, I'd be like, you know what? The place is cute and all, but I think I'm gonna leave.
Keep going.
I wouldn't even stay. Oh, this place? I think she got murdered. I think I'll stay.
When that twist happened, I'm just like, wow, you're just pulling this out of a whole different movie, aren't you?
Yeah, like, I kind of saw the whole thing with Sandra being the older woman, but not, I didn't think it was gonna be that way. And they even had her starting to do before the actual reveal, how they were having her talk like, oh, the police came. She was doing the I'm about to reveal that I'm evil thing. And it's like, when she started to do that, I'm like, oh God, no.
It didn't click until when she started saying, like, you know, oh, I did all those murders. And it's like, oh, wow, she has the same beehive hairdo as Sandy.
Yeah, and then if you look at the names on her mail, because Sandy mentions that her real name is, like, Alexandria. Which, how the hell is Sandy a nickname for Alexandria?
Trying to make it like a stage name.
Yeah, because, well, okay, I guess Sandra. Because, like, my name, Meg, is apparently a nickname for Margaret. My name is Megan, not Margaret, but still, apparently, Meg is a nickname for Margaret. It's like, where did they come up with nicknames? Like, how the hell do you get Dick from Richard? They don't even sound the same.
When I was in high school, a friend of mine used to call me Morg. Mortician.
Well, I could see if it was like a play on Mork, like Mork and Mindy.
No.
I was Wessels. Whistles.
Let's talk about
Weasels.
that Terrence Stamp character. Oh my God. Like, he's... At first oh no, before that, you had, like, creepy taxi cab driver.
Yeah, and he was just
that was driving her to the university, and he's, like, trying to make, like, chit-chat and stuff. It's all, like, creepy and everything. Oh, I guess you're a fashion designer because you got some nice legs. Oh, I don't think I have enough money to get to the university. Oh, you know, I can kind of take care of that. And then she tells him to pull over near a convenience store, and he hides in there, and he's, like, still there, like, look at... Hello? Still there? I want to take you to Subway.
Yeah, and then
okay.
And then we never see. Yeah, and then
I thought he was gonna come back.
Yeah, and then
during
we never see him again.
Yeah, because when Terrence Stamp's character gets Ben Tramered, I thought that was gonna be the big twist. Like, he comes out, and he's like, "Oh no, I just hit him and stuff." And I thought he was gonna be the Matt Smith character, which I would have been. It would have been a predictable twist, but I would have been kind of okay with it. But the stuff with Terrence Stamp. So at first we think he's one of the people that she met, and yeah, it's revealed that it is, but not the way you expect. He's an undercover cop.
So was it a deal that he suspected Sandy killed all those guys? Because of how he was talking about Sandy to her before he decided to jump in front of a car?
And he was Ben Tramered, man. He came out of nowhere. It missed the explosion. It'd been funny if his head just burst into flames when he just got hit. But yeah, Ellie suspects that Terrence Stamp is the Matt Smith character and stuff, and thinks that he killed her or something like that. And then he's in the bar and he's being suspicious and stuff. And we don't know if it's either because he's a serial killer or just being investigative. Because, detectives and investigators, they can be cocky. He's like, I've met tons of women before and things like that. And she's, recording the call and everything. And when he starts, walking off, I'm done with these questions and stuff. And you accusing me and everything. I'm gonna go to the police with these phone calls. It sounds like, don't say that to the person you're accusing. That just makes things worse. And then he steps in the middle of the road. He says something to her, and that's when a cab comes by and hits him. And
you got the wrong man. Boom! Splat! There goes my body falling on the pavement. Now I'm fucking dead.
And then people are like, oh my god, he's a policeman. He's a policeman. Ooh.
I thought his name was Jack.
No, it's
what was it? Lindsay!
Lindsay! That's what it was, Lindsay.
Yeah.
Lindsay Ellis.
Yeah. Well, Lindsay was originally a man's name. Same with Ashley.
But, if he's supposed to be an investigator, he shouldn't.
And maybe not be such a
why.
creep. It's when they had the scenes where he's just staring at him, I just keep on getting flashes of my work when I'm walking by Subway, and then the freaking old crusty people just staring at you. It's okay, you guys are raised with manners, so what happened to them?
And the way that she constantly bumps into him. Oh, sir, you remind me of this person I used to know and stuff like that.
I guess she reminded him of the babe.
What babe?
The babe with the power.
What power?
The power of voodoo.
Voodoo?
You do.
Do what?
Remind me of the babe.
Oh, Babe Ruth.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Nah, it happens to the best of us. We know our nostalgia.
Sorry, it was just that behind me, it looked like there was a face there, so that just kind of freaked. There isn't a face there. It's just the angle of it. I mean, we did just watch a supernatural movie, so face.
If I turn to a ghost tomorrow, I'm going to blame Edgar Wright.
I would be one of those goofy ghosts where you're just brushing your teeth and then you just see my face behind you. Surprise!
Oh, hi there. Would you like a cookie?
Yes. The movie, now that I'm talking about it more with you, it was very flawed. I mean, I do still like it, but it definitely was very flawed. The twist, they should have just had it be that Sandy was a murder victim, because that's what they should have not had the stupid twist.
Yeah.
And they could have still had her be an old lady, or maybe have it be that the old lady was someone who knew Sandy, or, have it be that she is Sandy, but have it be that she was dead all along, and that she...
Because even you predicted that earlier.
Yeah, I thought
what if she's Sandy but a ghost?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a deal where she was, that she drew Ellie to that place to help solve her murder, and then when the murder was solved, she could pass on, and,
Oh, yeah, like in Amber Journey's world.
Yes.
Speaking of, what the heck was up with that thing where in the opening we see in the reflection the mirror of her dead mother? And then later near the end, when she's a famous fashion star for her 60s aesthetic in this drag queen LGBTQ thing that is somewhat hinted early at the movie, but not very well developed. And at the end, she sees the reflection of her mother, but then she turns to her grandmother and her love interest. It's hey, I did it, and everything. It feels like my mother's here, and She turns around in the mirror and there's this like dun 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 thing where it's the ghost of Sandy, and what was up with that? That didn't make that was like the twist ending to Event Horizon.
I think it was
that left such a bad taste in my mouth.
I think it was supposed to be a deal that Sandy was gonna kind of be like a companion spirit like her mother, but they shouldn't have had it be sinister though.
I don't like it, especially when you
'Cause-
know Cindy did all. Especially when you know Sandy. It's
She did
especially
all
when
these
you know the
horrible
girl did all these
things.
horrible things. It doesn't make sense
And
for her
they
to
were
be a
trying
companion
to make her
ghost.
sympathetic. It's like, no. It's like, yeah. The only guy that she was justified in killing was Matt Smith's character because he was going after her with a knife. But everyone else,
And
no.
Even, and even then, I had no sympathy for the ghosts at all.
No.
I had no sympathy for Sandy when they revealed that she was the murderer.
Yeah.
I had no sympathy for everyone, and that's a big
Yeah.
crime of this movie.
It should have not had her be evil. They should have just had it be Ellie solving her murder, because that's what I thought the movie was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because them doing that twist, it was kind of like when they revealed it, I'm like, this, okay, I had a feeling that was going to be Sandy, but this is not what I was expecting. This is like, what? And then, you know, they have her try to kill Ellie, and then all of a sudden, she doesn't want to kill Ellie anymore, and it's like...
I've killed too many people. I've lost myself. My last image is gone. I'm just going to sit in this room and burn with the bodies that are under the floorboards.
And she's like, oh, I don't want to go to jail. And it's like, lady,
I
no
feel
offense,
like I've been in a jail.
but you're old, so... I don't think it would have taken that much longer. Sorry, but...
And that's where I said if this was like a Sweeney Todd style kind of story on its own without the supernatural stuff, I think I would have been more intrigued.
Well, even Sweeney Todd didn't have plot holes this gaping.
No, it didn't.
Sweeney Todd...
It didn't even take me a second to think. I'm like, have a second. No, there are no plot holes. There were reasons, there were motives, and at the end, the ends justified the means.
Yes.
And now Tobias is roaming the streets as a killer.
Yeah, someone did a fanfic that he turns out to be Jack the Ripper. I haven't read it, but I heard about it. And that's
I can see that working so
that's an interesting twist.
Oh my god, that's actually much more
I'm going to have to look
interesting.
that up now, because I know someone wrote a fanfic where he was like Jack the Ripper.
My god, I can so see that working.
Yes.
Especially the way everything builds up.
Yes. So, hopefully the next movie we see we will both like.
I guess the last question to ask is, would you recommend this?
Personally, if you ignore the flaws, and if you're just wanting to go out and see like a popcorn flick for entertainment, I would say like see it in theaters, but I wouldn't recommend buying it on DVD unless you can ignore all the flaws with it. I don't think I will buy this on DVD. It's definitely not for everyone. It is very flawed, but I wouldn't say it's a horrible movie.
This could have been something interesting.
Yeah, it was a lot of wasted potential.
Yeah, there are ideas. If it was trying to be a reflection of the 60s and how beautiful it was, but while it had that dark, sinister edge to it, especially with the mistreatment of sexes, I think that would have been a more interesting thing.
Yes.
And even just cut out the supernatural element, please.
Well, I didn't mind the supernatural element. It was more like the twist that they went with Sandy, because that was where it was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that was just stupid. Like, I was expecting her to be the old lady, yes, but I wasn't expecting her. It's like, she was the villain all along, but she's still a victim, but she's a villain. She's a victim. Villain. Smeagol going on. She's a victim. No, she's a villain. But she's a victim. Villain. Victim. Villain.
Megan's one-person show she shares every week.
Sorry.
I love it.
Thank you. I'm glad you do.
For the life of me, I don't know. Some people might get a kick out of this, I guess, but for me, it just didn't. It didn't hit all the right notes.
Let's just say the Morgan. The Morgan.
The Morgan?
The movie
The Morgan.
broke the Morgan. That's what I meant to say.
The Morgan broke the movie.
And apparently it's breaking me, too, because I... La, 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 la. All right, time for dessert.
I think you'll like what I got.
Yay.
It's chocolate dipped.
I love chocolate.
Oh my god, if I see ghosts tonight, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Well, maybe Caddy will visit.
Hey, look. Love story, horror story. Love story, horror story. Love story, horror story. I love that bit. I gotta end this in a light way.